Hey, what's up? Vikram Deol here. I wanted to share something real quick with you on how to have a more successful listing appointment. So, this is my old listing book, and there was a couple things that we did here. One was the page was just all about success strategies, right? That's what people want. Really high end photography, as you can see. This was an expired listing that we won. So the reason why I show this up front is because we're all about proof over promise. So like the highlighted stuff we would go over. I really wouldn't go over this that much. I would really just be like, hey, here's some stuff about our company if you want. I was like, the most important thing is that you can fire me at any time. I'll release you from the agreement. And I'll even give you my marketing at no additional cost. And as you guys can see, like our marketing was sick. So this was all binded, soft touch paper, blah, blah, blah. Right. And then I said, let's get into what we really want to talk about. So I don't go on a home tour because the house isn't as important as making sure that the prospect trusts you and making sure that the prospect and you are on the same page. Right. So this is like the top questions that sellers wanted to know. And I would spend a few seconds here and I'd say, is there anything that you would like to cover prior to me taking a tour of the home and before we talk about values or anything else that you would like to cover that's not on this page? And if they did, I would write it down there and I'd write it on my notes. And that way we were both on the same page because I needed to know if there was any concerns. I needed to know what they were thinking, if they wanted to talk about commissions, if they wanted to talk about, right, like my experience, like whatever it was, like I needed to know what was important to them. And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay, if you had to pick something on this page, like what would you say is the most important thing here? And then they would pick whatever. I'd be like, great. Well, let's just can I just show you like how we sell your home? And they're like, sure. So we would do a reverse engineered case study. Now, the cool thing about case studies is that it allows you to talk about yourself without sounding like you're talking about yourself. So it allows us to talk about who we are and what we do, and then why they should list with us. So this was an expired. If you'll see in a second, I love expireds. I think it's the greatest way to find listings, especially because I lived in Seattle. I moved there. I didn't know anybody there. I got married, divorced. My ex-wife had a whole network of people. I didn't. I needed listings. I didn't want to suck. And so home challenges, right? On a cliff, built on stilts, condo alternative, no garage, dated, right? Now, we should have done a better job of this. Like, had I been selling real estate now, I would have had before and after photos right here. I would have showed the condition of the home. I would have been a lot more strategic with my listing appointments so that I could have more data, so I could show the property before I got it and after. I could have showed the previous listing. But anyways, you live and you learn. So here's what we started with, right? Step number one, step number 6, sold. Address of the property, days on market with the previous agent, 180, right? 6 months. Days on market with me, sold price 1.6, received an offer in 2 hours, acquired an additional backup offer, 17 interested parties came through. I start showing them what we actually do, right? What's reverse prospecting? Oh, that's where we have our inside sales team, right? Your inside sales team might be you, right? Here it was me and my other buyer's agent. It wasn't we had a big team, but we were the inside sales agents, right? We had 29 agents come to our brokers open. We had 14 private showings, 17 interested parties, right? So during our brokers open, we had people show up to buy the home. Now we show them proof, right? Proof over promise, proof over promise, right? 30,000 Zillow, 1,500 uniques, 20 saved. What's a unique view, Vikram, right? They need to know these things. 20 people saved it in the first 48 hours, right? We had 100 video views, 150. We had 1,700 people look at it on Facebook. So you guys talk about, a lot of agents talk about their social media. Oh, we posted on social media. Prove it. Show them how you do it, right? Now, again, this is from 2016, something like that, when I sold real estate. Now I don't sell, I just coach. Here's what we tell them. We staged the home. We prepped it this, right? I would have gone into more detail right here in the case study, right? I would have put a little bit more detail what we did in each step, right? Because that matters more, right? That matters more. I would have made the pictures a little bit smaller. I would have moved everything up and I would have put more of what we did with our timeline, but we explained what we did, right? listing presentation. They hired us. We signed the listing, blah, blah, blah. Right. So like this isn't as important, but this stuff is, this stuff is, this stuff is, this stuff is. And I said, so I guess like, especially if you're in an expired listing, which we did a lot of expireds, it'd be like, so I guess like, looking at the case study, right? I guess like where did your agent, like, what did your agent do? Right? Like, I'm just curious, like, what did your agent do when you guys hired them? Like, how did they show you that they're actually working for you? And they go, well, they didn't show us any of this, Vic. Oh, okay. That might be a little problematic. I still haven't seen the property yet. I still haven't seen the home yet. We came and we sat down, walked in through this door right here. Right. That door leads into this gorgeous view. This house is literally on stilts on a mountainside. It's kind of scary. And that's the table. Right. When I walked in the home, I also noticed there's cracks in the drywall on the roof. And I looked up and and the husband looked at me. He's like, Vic, those are drywall cracks. I said, they look like drywall cracks to me and to you, but what do they look like to your buyer? And I'm just like freaking out. And he's like, I don't know. So like, yeah, that could be a problem. Did your agent not say anything about this to you? No. So I've already added value. I was like, yeah, well, we definitely need to get that fixed. I can have my guy come out. No problem. He's like, oh, I got a guy too. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Do you want to take care of it or do you want my guy to take care of it? He's like, well, if you got a guy, let him take care of it. You trust him? I'm like, he's the best. He's like, well, let your guy take care of it. I've already won the sale before I walked in. Right? I already won the sale before I walked in. And when I looking at the doorstep, bunch of cobwebs everywhere. The house just came off the market. Looking at the cobwebs everywhere. He's like, oh yeah, we need to get around to cleaning it. I was like, I got somebody who can clean that for you. Would that be helpful? He's like, oh, that'd be great. Right? We already started the process before we even walked in the door. Home is prepped by seller. I didn't walk in and be like, oh my God, your house is amazing. I love everything. I walked in, I started nitpicking like little things that I could help them with. Right? So case study right there, couple of success stories, right? Testimonials. Okay. I prep them all the time. Like, I want your Zillow review. Oh, where'd it go? Where we go? Oh, it takes me to Zillow. Ha! That's crazy. It takes me to Zillow. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I love Zillow, right? Like, look at that. 121 reviews. Killed the Zillow game. We love Zillow. Zillow's awesome. That's funny. I didn't know you could click on it. That's cool. Somebody was smart on my team. Success stories previously listed with 180 agents, 180 days with another agent. We sold it in 8 days, 96% listing cash offer, right? We closed it in 20 days. In hindsight, this should have been done better. These should have been 3 separate case studies, right? They shouldn't have been success story. They should have been case study. Then they should have been laid out just like this one was, right? With the timelines. And we should have talked about what we did pre, what we're going to do post, what we're going to do during. Like, we should have talked about that in more detail, right? But you live and learn. Right here, 9246, the address, so they can look it up. 460 days with 3 agents, right? Sold it in 11 days, cash 3.6. We met this client in May, did exterior shots in September and interior shots in January. So the homeowner of 50 years, you guys listen to the emotional string right here. Like, this is so good. 50 years could spend her last Christmas in the house with her beloved decorations up, right? Like, who doesn't want their mother to have an agent like that, right? Pulling on the emotional string. Stop being always so logical. Listed and sold in 48 hours, 7% above, right? What we should have had was the stats for this neighborhood, because this neighborhood, I believe at the time, this neighborhood was not trading at 7% over list price and getting multiple offers, because this is like a slightly outside of the neighborhood, right? And then look at how small this is. Like, these are our stats for the last, like, this was in 2016 or 17. I don't know what year it was. Last year, before I retired from real estate, got more into the coaching side, but sales stats are super small, right? Most companies, they have their stats right up front. Look how good we are. We're the best. We're the best. No, this is all about them, right? When it's about them, it's trustworthy, right? When it's about you, it's not trustworthy, right? The guarantee, like, hey, this is all that really matters. If you don't like me, you can fire me. You could take my marketing materials. Look at how good they are, right? Look at our photos. These are all professional photos. This one had a drone, like thousands of dollars, right? Like, dude, you guys can have it all for free. Like, you guys can have it all for free. Look, this one, we took the photos in the summer, right? All the other stuff that you guys talk about, when you show proof over promise, right? Proof over concept, it just goes down the drain. Like, they don't even care. It's like, do you guys care where buyers come from? No, they don't care. But it makes you look like you know what you're talking about. Like, team approach, staging. Like, look, this is what they look at when I'm going on a tour of the house. Hey guys, look, thumb through this. Like, here's a couple of points that might be a little bit more interesting to you. Here's a couple of our brochures. There's soft touch, which, just makes it stand out more. There's different sizes, makes it stand out more. Like, I showed you guys what we do on social media. I wonder if this takes me to like oh, look, you click on the thing, it takes you to Instagram. So I guess we sent this, like, we would send this out to them digitally so they could actually look at the things. We talk about the different, like, all the different things we do, follow up, right? And when we talk about follow up, look, we showed them that we actually followed up. 118 calls from our inside sales team to interested agents and parties, right? Like, we showed them proof over promise, right? So then they can scroll through it. Now we show them some of our listings that were in magazines, right? So we were really big on PR. This listing right here was a previous client of mine. They fired me. Then they brought me back on. Like, I tell this story. Like, I'm like, look, we got into a little bit of a heated discussion. They didn't like it. They didn't like the price I gave them. Some of the things that I asked them to do. So they went with another agent. That agent wasn't what they expected. So they called me back, and look at how there should have been before and after pictures on this house, right? Here we do the before and after. I would have moved this up higher into the thing because it shouldn't be so far down. But look, before and after staging, before and after, I literally hand washed all of these windows that I could get to. And I was like hanging over the balcony edge right here. There's actually a photo from somebody where they're like, Vic, we thought you were going to die, because I was cleaning the windows manually because the seller didn't do it and we were doing an open house. Some more stuff here. They don't know what any of these websites are. They just like the fact that I know what they are. Pricing, it's not about the list price, it's about the sales price, right? The deal group commits to putting your goals first. Like, what's now? So now we give them another timeline, right? Here's what we're going to do. These are the things that we're going to do. Let's go. What part of this do we need to talk about? What's important to you guys? Let's talk about it if we need to, right? Pricing properly, right? There's event-based pricing, right? There's aspirational pricing. There's perceived market value pricing, right? So this is like, hey, if you list it high, you're going to get a small percent, list it low. People like to see just diagrams. Oh, I can understand that, right? This is showed them what the interest level is, right? Oh, okay. So the analyticals, they get to see, oh yeah, we really want to list it here. Okay, so how do we get the most people in the first 14 days? Well, we need to list it somewhere here. Oh, okay, that makes sense, right? The perfect price, aspirational pricing, price sorted by comparisons, or, what you would call a CMA, the market leader, like, just like titles, right? So this would be, I'd probably call this like event pricing. This is, this is perceived market value, because we don't know what the market value is. It's only what a buyer and seller put pen to paper and the deal closes. Do we have market value? Aspirational, right? Negotiations, you guys. Oh, here's another one. Proof over promise. This should have been higher up too. Like, here's the offer process, right? Like, so here we show them how we helped one of our clients, right? And we showed them the different offers: 936, 877, 780, 875, 775. Look, no escalation. This one has an escalation. Like, so what's the top price, right? So now I can explain what all these terms are in real numbers. And they're like, oh my God, 630, whatever, earnest money, right? Down payments, financing contingencies, inspections, right? Buyer inspection. We tracked all of this stuff, right? Cool. We're at the end of the presentation. Like, by this time, if you do a good presentation and you focus all on your prospect,